Hi, I'm David. Welcome to my channel, my yard sale. Hey, today I want to just spend a couple of minutes, do some updates on my health and just general updates. And I hope there's something interesting that I share here that you find interesting and worth stopping in and just watching a little bit of this video. So this last week was an interesting week because I was committed to eating just beef, eggs, and cheese. I had plenty of food to eat. It was good. And I didn't really notice a drastic benefit, but I also didn't notice myself having the problems that I continue to have, just my balance and my strength and just general life problems. I mean, I was sticking very close to carnivore. I was eating a little bit of cheese, which I guess could be considered carnivore, I suppose. I don't know exactly. But I let myself loose a tiny bit here and there and kind of got right back to the next day eating just beef and cheese. And I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't so bad. So now I'm having to get back to eating just burger patties, cheese, and eggs. Because at the end of last week, I had some yogurt that I needed to eat. And it was interesting because the more I got into eating this yogurt, and I was eating it like it wasn't that much yogurt, but it was a pretty big sized jar of unsweetened, just regular yogurt. It tasted like sour cream actually. But I ate it with a little bit of allulose sweetener, some chocolate powder. I ate it like that. And I didn't hate it. It was okay. I didn't love it. I would have rather had burgers, I think. But by the end of the week, I was starting to have inflammation. And the inflammation got worse and worse and worse. And today I ordered a bunch more food, so I have more burger patties, cheese, and eggs to eat. So I'm happy to get back to that. I'm not like happy being keto or carnivore, but I'm definitely happy not having all the physical problems I end up having when I'm just eating whatever I'm eating willy-nilly. So yeah, that whole thing with yogurt, and I didn't know that yogurt could cause that kind of problems. I thought it was mostly just protein. But I did some Google search, and it said that yeah, yogurt can cause problems. And it actually makes sense because I don't know, a couple years ago I used to love buying this yogurt. It's I can't even remember what the name was. It's like Oinkios or something. They come in little containers. I enjoyed them. It was zero sugar, zero fat, and zero, I don't know, triple zero. Zero sugar, zero fat, and zero something else. I don't remember exactly. But I remember eating that, and I used to put nuts on them, on it. And I thought it was the nuts that was causing me the problems, and back then I was having problems, and I started recognizing that certain things caused me more problems than others. But now I'm wondering, and I think that it was probably just the yogurt. After this last cycle of adding yogurt back into my diet and just having all these problems, I think it's obviously the yogurt because I haven't eaten anything else. I just ordered more food today. So yeah, I'm done with yogurt. I'll finish up the little tiny bit I have left, and then I'll just be done eating yogurt for maybe forever. I don't know. I will be happy to be able to get back to just eating whatever I want when I want, sensibly, and not have to worry about whether I'll be able to get across the house or not, get to the bathroom or not, because I ate too much yogurt, because I ate too much of this or that. I'll be happy to get back to that point. So I'm back to burger patties, cheese, and salt. And I'm not actually hating that. I buy these frozen burger patties. They're pretty cheap. It's very, very reasonably priced. From Walmart, I buy them, 3 pounds in a bag with frozen patties. I drop the patty in a bowl. I put it in the microwave for 4 minutes. And if I have 2 patties, I'll put it in for 6 minutes. I put some cheese in it. Sometimes I'll put it in for an extra minute. And I don't hate that. I enjoy eating it. It's not so bad. But trust me when I tell you, I will be so happy to get back to being able to eat whatever I want. And again, I'll be eating reasonably, not like I used to, but I'll be happy to be able to eat whatever I want. So some good news is, in the last week, 10 days, let's just say, I haven't been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning starving. So I'm happy about that. So apparently my body is probably getting some of the nutrition that I'm eating instead of me just peeing it all out. So I feel like I'm moving ahead in that regard. But I am still, like even today, I was like 4 o'clock, I was starving. But I'm not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore, just ready to eat. So I think that's good news. I don't know. I think that's good news. I'm happy about that. I'm going to start weighing myself a little bit more regularly again to see if I'm going to be gaining weight, which I hope I will be. But again, I'm back to beef patties, cheese, and eggs. And salt. Hopefully that'll keep me going in the right direction. I never thought about cooking beef patties in the microwave. And it doesn't brown the patties up like it does if you put it on a frying pan or on the grill. But I actually don't hate it in the microwave. And once you cook it for the first 3 minutes or so, it renders a lot of the fat, and that fat kind of fries the burger up a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it's like making the inside of my microwave a mess, and it might be. I don't know, maybe I should put a plate over it or something. But I don't hate microwaved frozen burgers. They're actually kind of decent. The weather is nice where I live now. I know that the weather is questionable where a lot of people live with the hurricane season coming in. But where I live, it's 40 to 50 degrees at night, and it's in between 60 and 70 degrees during the day. So today it's nice. Well, last night I actually thought about turning the little mini heater on and just warming things up a little bit, which I didn't do it, but I thought about it. I put on some socks actually. And then during the day it's very moderate. Right now I have the window open, which is kind of nice. But I have the window open because my house gets cold at night, and I needed to warm the house up a little bit. So I guess that's kind of nice. A lot of people think that would be ideal, but I would prefer it to just be warmer all the time. But what am I going to do? So today I'm sitting here in my long sleeve shirt and a hat, and I would be wearing a winter hat if I didn't find this hat that I have, because it's just cool enough that I get a little chilly and I like to be warm. Soon I'll be wearing winter hats all the time. But that thing with the yogurt, it said plainly on Google that, and I do trust a lot of what Google says. It said that yogurt can cause inflammation. And holy shit, that yogurt caused me inflammation. It was terrible. So there's another next round of storms coming through Florida. And this round of storms is probably not going to be as property damage as bad as the last storm. Because I think that storm was a surprise. Nobody expected the flooding, and we always expect flooding in Florida, but nobody expected 20 feet of water or houses to be, underwater halfway through their living space in their house. But the next round of storms are going to be the ones that are going to be, I think, more difficult. Because now people are, even the new people, all the New Yorkers that moved from New York to Florida, now they've experienced what a damaging storm looks like and feels like. And it's kind of scary, honestly. But the next round of storms, once the aquifer is completely saturated, which the last storm, that saturated the aquifer. Now, even the non-coastline sections of Florida can flood out. When I lived in Florida 20 years ago, we went through a dry spell that it hadn't rained for quite a while, and entire lakes were just drying up. Like they would get down to, like an entire lake would just get down to a little mud puddle in the very center of the lake. And that's the time when you get a huge storm. Like once that happens, then you get another huge storm, like the last storm, or potentially the next storm. That aquifer is going to be able to soak up a lot of the water, but once that aquifer gets full, then that water has nowhere to go. And houses, even inland, will flood out. So if you're inland in Florida, be very careful. Make sure you park your car. Hopefully people are parking their cars at some grocery store or something that's on higher ground up the road instead of just parking in their garage or parking in their driveway. I don't think that's a good idea. I have a brother that lives down in the Tampa area, and they're saying that all the trash from the houses from the last storm is causing major rat infestations throughout the whole area. So there's going to be a lot of problems with rats and mice, and I don't know what other problems that's going to bring, but that's an issue. I don't remember that ever really happening before, but that's definitely happening now. So anybody in the southeast, be careful on these next storms. Once everything's washed out and the water levels are full, then the water has nowhere to go. And it'll cause more problems with just dragging houses down and flooding people out. So inflammation for me starts off with my eyesight getting not so great. It causes my fingers, that's the neuropathy in my fingers, I suppose, but causes my fingers to not work right, which means anything that I'm trying to hold on to or grab onto becomes just, I can't trust it. I have to be very careful. Like if I'm walking through my house and I can feel my balance kind of giving, I have to either sit down or get to a spot where I can really secure myself, because if I start to fall down and try to grab something, my fingers could give away and I can end up on the ground pretty quickly. I'm not totally sure exactly what that I've eaten right, but this tremor in my hand kind of went away. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to be adding more. I bought a new vitamin, so I'm happy about starting that. I think that I was actually lacking in magnesium again. I stopped eating all those beans, and I wasn't really eating too much food that would have given me 300 to 400 grams of magnesium a day, and I'm pretty sure that could have been causing those tremors. I'm trying to force myself throughout the day to get up and go get some more exercise. As my strength is not what it should be, I'm much less excited about getting up and trying to work out. That working out is push-ups, squats, even getting down on the ground and trying to get back up again. Like that's exercise for me right now. So I'm feeling like I need to force myself to do my exercise, and that I'm starting to do this week. We'll see how that goes. Maybe next week I'll have something positive to share with that. So when I was talking about the tremors in my hands, there was some pretty good comments that I want to address because regarding MS. Multiple sclerosis is definitely something that I could actually, it could be my problem. It could be part of my problem. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm not a doctor. But I don't think that it's MS. When I lived in Florida, I got, well, in Florida, let me just tell you, there's a lot of bugs in Florida. And they have these do-it-yourself pest places that you can go up to the corner and buy pretty evil pesticides, and you can do it yourself, de-pest your household. I did that when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure I gave myself a case of lindane poisoning on top of all the other crap that I've had in my life. I think I poisoned myself with either, I think it's called malathion or something, or lindane, trying to get rid of ticks and fleas in my yard. I had dogs that were infested with ticks, and I had to use these pesticides to get rid of it. And of course, I was too cheap to hire somebody to do it, which I should have done. But I think I poisoned myself with malathion and lindane. And at that point, I had started a sales job that I was pretty excited about. So I knew about the sales process and how sales are. I had gone to a Toyota place, and I was looking at new Toyotas, and I ended up talking to this sales guy. This guy was a closer. Like, he had the process like down. If I would have spent 5 more minutes with that guy, I'd probably bought a new Toyota at that point. But I associated the sales process at the Toyota place and the sales job that I had taken, and I noticed the similarities. So when I started having these health problems, I did go to a doctor at that point, and that doctor sent me to get an MRI. I did get an MRI, and when I went back in to see the doctor again, he was so excited. He needed to tell me that I had two things. He needed to tell me. One is that I had MS, and the second thing was that I had 3 choices of Pfizer drugs to take. I could choose A, B, or C, which, I mean, I should have been thankful that I was diagnosed, but I just thought that the timing was strange, that I was having these problems right about the time that I had gotten myself around all these mad poisons to get rid of these bugs. And this doctor didn't want to hear about that at all. All he wanted to do was talk about MS. Now, granted, when you get an MRI, MS shows itself as lesions, white lesions on your brain, which is an indicator of MS. And I've done plenty of research in between then and now to know that that's the case. But also what I found is that high levels of sugar, including getting to the point of having metabolic issues, that can also cause gray lesions on your brain. But that doctor would have had to ask me more than 4 questions to figure that out. And he may have had to run another test or 2 to figure that out. He didn't care about that. He was just trying to get the slam dunk for the multiple sclerosis prescription, just like the Toyota guy trying to get the slam dunk on the Toyota Corolla or whatever it was that I was looking at. So that's why I'm very cautious of what doctors say about, what I'm dealing with. I mean, I feel like I sort of know what I'm dealing with. I need to talk to a doctor that actually knows about these metabolic issues, not just a general practitioner, because they're just going to send me to get an MRI. They're going to probably see the same lesions on my brain or something similar to that. And they're going to prescribe me with MS medications that aren't going to help me and potentially will make me worse. So on a good note, I bought some apples, and I know that a couple of you know New York or lived in New York. New York has the best legit apples ever. And now the apples are in season, and they're so good. Now I'm from Florida, so I can remember when oranges were in season. My grandparents lived in Orlando and had I don't know, 10 or 15 orange trees in their backyard. And I can just remember eating the best oranges ever. They were the most delicious oranges. I don't even know if my pop-up, I don't know if he like fertilized or if they just grew like that in Florida, but he had navel orange trees, tangelos. There was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different kinds of oranges, and they were always delicious. And now in New York, I enjoy the apples in New York as much as I enjoyed the oranges in Florida. So I get a regular bag of oranges, whatever they are, whatever kind of oranges they are. And what I've noticed now that I haven't had really sugar or very much carbs in the last 6 months to a year, when I eat an apple, I eat it like I'm English royalty. I literally eat every little nook and cranny off of the apple. I eat all the I eat the whole apple. I would eat the core and everything if it didn't have seeds and I didn't think it would poison me. But what I did notice is there is a sweeter side to the apple, and I'm going to leave you guys the chance to figure out what that sweeter side is. There is a sweeter part of the apple, and I'm curious to know if anybody else can notice that. I never noticed it before. I used to love apples, and honestly, the bigger the apple, the better when I was, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But now I can eat even a small apple, and I enjoy every little bit of it. And again, I'll eat an apple like my grandmother used to chew apart a pork chop bone, chewing all the little meat off of it. That's what I do with an apple core. But I am curious to know, can you guys tell which part of the apple is the sweetest part of the apple? And there is definitely a sweeter part. I can taste it now. Again, I don't think I could have tasted it 10 years ago, but now I can definitely taste it. So yeah, if you can get apples from New York, now's the time. Now until probably September, because they're in season and they're delicious. If any of you folks are in sales or applying to sales jobs, I'm just going to say be very careful, because there are companies hiring sales reps. They hire sales account managers, but they don't give accounts. Or they hire sales account executives, but they give no help to find the accounts. And these companies are a scam. They're just trying to scrape leads off of your efforts and your work. A sales job, an account manager should get accounts. An account executive should get a salary. You should be paid for the discovery and the work you have to do. If a company is hiring for an account executive or an account manager, and they don't offer either a salary or any accounts, it's a scam, and you want to just stay far away from that. If you have any questions on that, do me a favor, boink, leave a comment and I'll answer that. If you have any questions on anything that I've talked about today, I answer all comments, I answer all questions. A little bit later this week, I bought a new thing from Amazon that I want to review and I want to tell all you folks about, because this thing is really cool and I want to share it with you guys. Anyways, I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you have a great day. I hope you're enjoying some sunshine like I am. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.